Hello. Right now we are going to discuss test on hypothesis for a single sample. This topic is covered by the chapter 8 of our subject engineering data analysis. So for the learning objectives, at the end of this discussion, it is expected that you will be able to test hypothesis on the mean of a normal distribution using either a z-test or a t-test. Number two, test hypothesis on the variance or standard deviation of a normal distribution. And number three, test hypothesis on a population proportion. And lastly, number four, use the p-value approach for making decisions in hypothesis tests. For chapter 1 of the chapter 8, hypothesis testing will be discussed by Kay.
So, good day everyone. Next slide po. So, what is hypothesis testing? Hypothesis testing is basically a process para malaman natin kung yung claim ba about a population ay supported ng evidence. Kino-compare natin yung actual sample data kung ano yung ina-assume nating value para sa population. Next slide po. So these are the steps naman po, or these are the summarized steps para sa hypothesis testing. So for step 1 is define the population under study. Dito muna natin nililinaw kung sino or ano yung population na pinag-uusapan. This is important para malaman natin kung saan applicable ang conclusion natin. So for step 2 naman, is state the hypothesis. Sa step na to, gumagawa tayo ng dalawang statement. Null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. For the null hypothesis, ito yung default claim na walang difference or walang effect. For the alternative hypothesis naman, ito naman ang claim na gusto nating patunayan. This too gives direction to our entire analysis. Next po is step 3, choose the significance level. So, ang significance level natin or yung alpha, yun yung risk na willing tayong tanggapin na magkamali. For example, A is equal to 0.05 means we allow 5% chance na mamali ang pag-reject natin kay null hypothesis natin. Moving on to our step 4, it is to collect sample data. Mag-collect naman tayo ng data from a sample kasi usually, hindi natin kayang kunin ng data from the whole population. The sample should represent the population well. Now, step 5 is to perform the statistical test. Pag nakuha natin yung sample data, we will compute the test statistic using the correct test. Iba't iba ang statistical test depende sa situation. Kung known ang population standard deviation at ang sample is greater than or equal to 30, ang gagamitin natin is the z-test. Then kung unknown naman ang ating standard deviation or ang sample is less than 30, we will use the t-test. And then lastly, kung variance or standard deviation ang gusto nating i-test, we will use the chi-square test. Dito lumalabas yung actual statistical evidence. Lastly, we have step 6, which is make a conclusion. Finally, we will compare the computed value to the critical value or the p-value to decide kung i-reject ba natin ang ating null hypothesis or i-accept natin siya. If there is enough evidence, we will reject the null hypothesis. If not, we fail to reject it. So, i-accept natin siya. This conclusion answers whether or not the original claim is supported by the data. So, overall po, these steps ensure that na scientific, systematic, at hindi basta hula lang yung magiging decision natin. So, next slide po. Now, moving on naman po sa ating null and alternative hypothesis. So for the null hypothesis, it is denoted by H sub O. Ito yung default assumption natin or the original na paniniwala sa isang statistical test. Ito ay laging isang statement of equality. And sinasabi dito na ito is walang effect, walang difference, and walang relationship sa pagitan ng mga variables. In short, ang null hypothesis ay nagsasabing walang nangyayaring pagbabago or pagkakaiba. Ito yung gusto nating i-prove na mali using data. So next slide po. Next po is our alternative hypothesis. Ito naman po is denoted as H sub A or minsan ginagamit din yung H sub 1. Ito is yung inverse or yung complete opposite ng ating null hypothesis. So, kung ano yung value ng ating null hypothesis, kabaliktaran naman nun ang value ng ating alternative hypothesis. Kaya nga siya alternative. Ito rin ang researcher's claim or yung gusto nating i-prove as tama using data. This indicates difference or effects. So may pagkakaiba, may effects and relations sa hypothesis na ito. And moving on po for our types of alternative hypothesis, we have two, which is one-tailed and two-tailed. Ito po ay depende kung paano tinitingnan ng pagkakaiba. So, mas madidiscuss po ito mamaya ng presenters. This is just a quick introduction. For our one-tailed test, ito ginagamit kapag may specific direction na pagkakaiba na inaasahan. It can either be right, which is one-tailed right, or left, which is one-tailed left. Ang mga symbols na ginagamit dito is greater than and less than. And then for our two-tailed test naman, ginagamit ito kapag may specific na direction ang pagkakaiba. Ang symbol na ginagamit natin dito is not equal or not equal to. So that's all po. Now the next set of topics will be presented by Engineer De Los Santos. Thank you.
Now we're going to discuss type 1 and type 2 error. As shown in the screen, this is the table of outcomes. So, when we conduct a hypothesis test, our conclusion can be right or wrong depending on the true state of the population. There are four common outcomes as shown here. If we reject the null hypothesis when it is actually true, that is called a type 1 error. And if we fail to reject the null hypothesis when it is actually true, that is a correct decision. Now, if we reject the null hypothesis when it is false, that is also a correct decision. And if we fail to reject the null hypothesis when it is false, that is a type 2 error. This combination show the possible risks involving hypothesis testing. Now, let's discuss type 1 error. A type 1 error happens when we reject the null hypothesis even though it is actually true. This is also known as a false positive because we think there is an effect or difference when there really isn't. The probability of committing a type 1 error is represented by the symbol alpha or this cursive A. The common values of alpha are usually 10%, 5%, and 1%. These values tells us how much risk we are willing to take in making this kind of mistake. Now, let's discuss Type 2 error. A type 2 error is the opposite situation of the former. This happens when we fail to reject the null hypothesis even though it is actually false. In other words, we miss a real effect or difference. This is also called a false negative. The probability of committing this error is represented by beta or this cursive looking letter B. A lower beta means we have a better chance of detecting a real effect when it exists. So now let's discuss the significance level or confidence interval. The significance level is represented by A or alpha. It is the maximum probability of committing a type 1 error that we are willing to accept. If we choose alpha or A is equals to 0.05, that means we accept that a 5% of rejecting the null hypothesis, even if it's actually true. So typical significance levels are 0.10, 0.05, and 0.01. A smaller alpha means we are stricter. Thus, we require a stronger evidence before we reject the null hypothesis. Now, what's the difference? What is confidence level 1 minus alpha? The confidence level is the complement of the significance level. If alpha is the chance of making a type 1 error, then 1 minus alpha represents the chance of making a correct decision when the null hypothesis is actually true. For example, if alpha is equals to 0.05, then the confidence level is 0.95, or in percentage, it is 95%. This means that we are 95% confident in our decision. So, as alpha decreases, the confidence level decreases. Let me repeat. As alpha decreases, the confidence level increases. Next, Chapter 8.1.1, One-sided and two-sided hypothesis.
Next. In order to state the hypothesis correctly, the researcher must translate correctly the claim into mathematical symbols. There are three possible sets of statistical hypotheses. Number one, null hypothesis. Parameter is equal to a specific value. This is a two-tailed test. Alternative hypothesis. Parameter is not equal to a specific value. Number two, null hypothesis. Parameter is equal to a specific value. This is a left-tailed test. Alternative hypothesis. Parameter is less than to a specific value. Number three, null hypothesis is equal to parameter is equal to a specific value. This is a right-tailed test. Alternative hypothesis. Parameter is greater than a specific value.
P-value in hypothesis testing. Please, next slide po. So, ang nakalagay po dito is, used to assess if the data provides evidence to reject the null hypothesis. Measure how likely the observed result if hypothesis is true. Low p-value, arrow, strong evidence against hypothesis. High p-value, arrow, result in consistent with hypothesis. It helps determine with statistical significance. Dito po, ipapaliwanag ko kung ano ang p-value and kung bakit ito mahalaga sa hypothesis testing. Ang p-value po ay sinasabi kung paano ka-likely ang mangyayari sa result natin kung totoo po ba ang null hypothesis. Kapag mababa po kasi ang p-value, mas malakas ang ebidensya na mali si hypothesis. Kapag mataas naman, posible namang tama si hypothesis. Kaya po, hindi po natin siya may reject. Next slide po. Sa types naman po ng hypothesis, sinasabi po dito na two-tailed test checks for difference in both direction. Left-tailed test check if the result is significantly lower than expected. And sa right-tailed test naman po, checks if the result is significantly higher than expected. Its choice of test depends on what we want to prove or detect. Then dito naman po, may iba't ibang types po ang hypothesis test. Depende po kung anong direction ang gusto nating tingnan. Kung both direction po ang titingnan natin, two-tailed test ang gagamitin. Kung mas mababa po ang gusto nating i-test, left-tailed naman. At kung mas mataas naman, edi po right-tailed. Gets po ba? Nakadepende po ito sa research question natin. Next slide po. Sa significance level naman po, which is alpha, common for the sample size values 0.10, 0.05, 0.01 defines the threshold for rejecting hypothesis. Determine the critical region of extreme test statistic values. Example, two-tailed alpha is equal to 0.05. Reject hypothesis if the z is greater than 1.96 or z less than negative 1.96. Ang significance levels po o alpha ay threshold kung hanggang saan lang ang tolerance natin bago i-reject ang hypothesis. Usually, ang ginagamit ay 0.10, 0.05, or 0.01. Kapag ang test statistic natin ay pumapasok sa critical region, tulad naman po ng z greater than 1.96 or yun nga po kanina na less than negative 1.96 sa alpha is equal to 0.05, doon po natin masasabing reject ang hypothesis. So, JM, ikaw naman.
Thank you, Mel. Now, let's proceed to understanding the p-value. Probability of obtaining a result as extreme as observed if hypothesis is true. Represent how unusual the result is under hypothesis. Smaller p-value, stronger evidence against hypothesis. Large p-value, weaker evidence. Smallest a level that would lead to rejection of hypothesis. At dito naman po mas malalim ang meaning ng p-value. Ipinapakita nito kung gaano ka-extreme ang nakuha nating result assuming na tama ang hypothesis. Kapag maliit ang p-value, mas malakas ang indication na baka mali si hypothesis. Kapag mataas naman, hindi ganong ka-usual ang result kaya hindi po natin siya i-reject. So, example calculation. So, example 1, C is equals to 1.84, P is equal to 0.0658. So, this is not significant at alpha is equal to 0.05. Example 2, C is equal to 2.75 and P is 0.0060 ay significant. If p-value greater than alpha, reject hypothesis. Otherwise, do not reject the hypothesis. So, para po sa example, makikita po natin na kapag ang p-value ay mas mataas sa alpha tulad ng 0.0658, hindi po siya significant. Pero kapag mas mababa, gaya po ng 0.0060, ibig sabihin strong evidence, kaya i-reject natin ang hypothesis. Ito ang practical na application po ng p-value. Next. The importance of the p-value. Provides more details than simple yes or no decision. Shows the degree of evidence against hypothesis. Indicates how rare or extreme the result is if hypotheses were true. Helps interpret statistical significance in the real-world terms. Sa uli, ang p-value ay hindi basta reject or not reject. Nagbibigay ito ng idea kung gaano kalakas ang ebidensya ng hypothesis. Mas naiintindihan natin kung rare ba o extreme ang result kapag totoo sa hypothesis. Kaya po mahalaga ito sa real-world interpretation statistical results. That's all po. Next slide.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing the general procedure for test of hypothesis. Next po. Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ang general step sa hypothesis testing gamit ang fixed probability of type I error or the level of significance usually represented by alpha. First step is state the hypothesis. Una, kailangan muna nating i-state ang null hypothesis at alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis or yung HO assume that there is no effect or difference. Samantalang ang alternative hypothesis naman is yung H1, ito naman is nagsasabi na mayroong effect or difference. Step 2 is to determine the level of significance and the direction of the test. Next, pipili tayo ng level of significance. Then, aalamin natin kung ang test ay left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed. Depende sa structure ng alternative hypothesis. Step 3 is select or choose the appropriate statistical test. Para sa step na ito, pipili tayo ng mga tamang structural test. Pwedeng C-test, T-test, at iba pa. Based sa type ng level of measurement ng data. Step 4 is write the decision rule. Dito naman isusulat natin kung kailan natin i-reject o hindi i-reject ang null hypothesis gamit ang critical value. Next po. Step 5. Compute the test statistic. Pagkatapos i-compute natin ang test statistic gamit ang formula na pili nating test, i-compare natin ito sa critical value para malaman kung extreme ba ang resulta para ma-reject natin ang HO. Step 6 is yung state the decision. From that comparison, sasabihin natin ng malinaw kung i-reject ba natin o if we fail to reject ang null hypothesis. At ang last naman po is yung draw a conclusion. Gagawa tayo ng specific or yung mga general conclusion kung saan i-apply natin ang result sa totoong context ng problem. Next po. Kung p-value approach naman ang gagamitin, similar pa rin ang idea pero iba ang step. So, ang first step is yung state the hypothesis. Ganon din, katulad din kanina. Pag sinabi natin null hypothesis, ito yung i-assume natin na no effect or no difference. Tapos pag alternative naman po is suggest that there is an effect or difference. Katulad din po nung kanina. Tapos ang next naman pong step is choose the appropriate statistical test. Pipili ulit tayo ng naangkop na data na meron tayo. At ang next step ay compute the test statistic. Ito yung numerical value that measure how far our sample result is from what the null hypothesis expect. Next po. After that, we compute the p-value. The p-value tells us the probability of getting our observed result assuming that the null hypothesis is true. Ibig sabihin, mas maliit na p-value, mas malaki ang evidence laban sa null hypothesis. Step 5 is make the decision. After computing the p-value, we compare the p-value with the level of significance. Kapag ang p-value ay mas mababa sa alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. Pero kung mas mataas naman, we fail to reject it. So ang next at last step naman po is draw the conclusion. Dito natin ipapaliwanag ang meaning ng result. Either may significance difference o wala. Next po.
So for the next topic po for our chapter 8 is test on the mean of a normal distribution when variance is known. So next slide po. This is for z-test for the mean. Ang z-test po for the mean ay ginagamit kapag alam natin ang population variance o standard deviation. Ideal din ito kapag malaki yung sample size natin. Usually, ang ating sample size is greater than or equal to 30. Dahil dito, nagpo-follow ang sample mean sa normal distribution. Kasama ito sa hypothesis testing kung saan tinetest natin kung may significant difference ba ang sample mean compared sa population mean. Next slide po. So, for our hypothesis testing, nagsisimula tayo sa null hypothesis. Ito yung nagsasabing walang difference as mentioned kanina. Ibig sabihin, ang true mean natin ay equal sa ating hypothesized mean. On the other hand, sa alternative hypothesis naman, dito natin sinestate na may difference or may pagbabago. For our first alternative hypothesis is yung two-tailed test natin. Ito is ginagamit natin kapag gusto nating malaman kung may difference in either direction. Ang next naman is ito yung two types of our one-tailed test. Sa right-tailed test natin, ginagamit natin to kapag gusto natin tingnan kung mas mataas yung mean natin. And for our left-tailed test, ito naman is ginagamit kapag tinitingnan natin kung mas mababa ba yung mean natin. So always remember na kapag greater than ang ating alternative hypothesis or yung H1 or H sub A natin, one-tailed test sa right. Tapos kapag naman less than ang symbol, ito naman ay one-tailed test sa left. So to summarize po, null hypothesis wala siyang pagbago. And sa alternative hypothesis naman, may kiniklaim siyang change or direction. Next slide po. So in the slide naman po, makikita po natin yung formula for z-statistic. Ito po yung gagamitin natin to compute the z-score. Then, ito din yung gagamitin natin for our decision. So ang formula natin is computed value is equal to our sample mean, which is yung x bar natin, minus the hypothesized mean, which is yung mu sub o, all over population standard deviation, divided by the square root of our sample size, which is our n. And next is our decision rule. So kapag nakuha na natin yung computed z-score, i-compare natin ito sa critical value to know kung i-reject ba natin yung null hypothesis or i-accept. Kapag ang ating z-score value ay nag-fall sa rejection region or yung lumagpas sa ating critical value, i-reject natin siya or i-reject natin ang null hypothesis. Pero kung ang z-score naman natin ay hindi lumampas sa critical region at nasa acceptance region siya, then hindi natin pwedeng i-reject yung ating null hypothesis. Next slide po. Okay. These are the steps naman po to perform our z-test. So first step po is to state the hypothesis, of course. So for null hypothesis, paulit-ulit na na-mention, wala siyang difference. Meaning, ang population mean natin is katumbas pa rin niya yung hypothesized mean. And for our alternative hypothesis naman po is, ito yung claim natin, yung claim ng researcher, claim sa problem. So ito is pinipili based sa problem natin. So second step is selecting the significance level. Ito naman yung max risk of error na handa tayong tanggapin. Ito yung probability na magre-reject ka ng null hypothesis. So ang nakikita ko pong pinaka-common na ginagamit sa mga problems is 0.05 or 5% or meron din namang 0.01 or 1%. So moving on, the third is computing the z-score or yung z-statistic natin using our formula. So makikita po natin dito yung formula na na-discuss ko kanina. So moving on po for our fourth step is finding the critical value. In this part, gagamitin natin ang significance level at ang z-table natin para makuha ang ating critical value. So makikita niyo po yun mamaya sa mga sample problems natin. Fifth naman po is to compare the z-statistics to our critical value. Tinitingnan mo kung yung na-compute mo na z-statistic value ay lumagpas sa critical value or nasa rejection region siya or kung hindi naman, nasa acceptance region siya. And lastly is making the final conclusion. Kung ang z-score ay pumasok sa rejection region, ibig sabihin may sufficient evidence para sabihing mali or para i-reject yung null hypothesis natin. Meaning, may significant difference talaga. On the other hand, kapag ang z-score natin ay nasa acceptance region, ibig sabihin enough na evidence para i-reject ang null hypothesis. Ang pagkakaiba na nakita mo ay malamang dahil sa chance or random error. Now, next to be presented po is our sample problems. Thank you po.
Now, to test your comprehension, I will be discussing an example. Here is problem number 1. During the annual hunter assessment, the Korean Hunter Association measured the performance of hunters in a written exam covering dungeon strategy, mana theory, and monster classification. A random sample of 64 hunters who trained under Sung Jin-woo's Shadow Guild showed an average exam score of 88%. Sung Jin-woo confidently claims that the average knowledge level of his guild members is at least 85 points, with a standard deviation of 12%. At the 5% level of significance, is there evidence to support Jinwoo's claim? Now, let's try to solve the problem. From this scenario, we are analyzing the written exam scores of the hunters trained by Sang Jinwoo. The sample has 64 hunters and an average score of 88 points. The population standard deviation is 12 points. And Jinwoo claims that the average score of his hunter is at least 85 points. And next, we will test this claim using a z-test for the mean and at the 5% level of significance. So now, let us discuss the solution and steps. First, we need to set up the null and alternative hypothesis. So, for the null hypothesis, it is equal to 85. And for the alternative hypothesis, it is greater than 85. Now, since the claim is at least, as said in the problem, at least 85, this becomes a right-tailed test. This tells us that the direction in which we will compare our test is statistics later. Now, for the step 2, we need to identify the given data and information in the problem. So, let's list down the data provided. So, for the sample size, 64. Then, for the sample mean, represented by X with a line above the letter is 88. Then, it is also given the standard deviation. It is equals to 12. Then, the hypothesis mean, which is the recursive U with an subscript of O is equal to 85, and the significance level, represented by the symbol of recursive letter A, is equals to 0.05, which is, as showed earlier, it is 5%. That is why it is converted to a decimal because it is a percentage. So, now, now that we have discussed the given data, let's proceed to the next steps. So for the formula, because the population standard deviation is known and the sample size is at least 30, we will use the formula for the z-test for the mean. The formula is equals to z subscript z is equals to x minus u subscript o under the population standard deviation divided by the square root of n, which is the sample size. The u subscript 0 is the hypothesized mean, and the x with the line above it is the sample mean. So now, this formula measures how far the sample mean is from the hypothesis mean in the standard units. So for the next step 4 is to determine the critical region. For a right-tailed test at the A or alpha or significance level, it is equal to 0.005. The critical values from the Z table is 1.645. So for our rule, we reject HO or our null hypothesis if the computed Z is greater than 1.645. So for in this case, usually in the problems, given na yung Z or itong value na 1.645. So pwede rin siya makuha ha, sa Z table. So for this example, this is already given. So remember our rule, reject the null hypothesis if the computed Z is greater than 1.645. Otherwise, do not reject the null hypothesis. This gives us the threshold for making our decision. Now for the step 5, we need to compute the Z statistic. We need to substitute the values, the given data into the formula. So this is how the solution would look like. So 88 minus 85 divided by 12 divided by the square root of 64. So 88 minus 85 is 3. Then 12 divided by the square root of 64 is 1.5. And when we divided 3 by 1.5 is equals to 2. Now for the decision, for our decision, we now have the computed Z value is equals to 2. So the statistics, we need to make decision. So compare the computed Z value with the critical value, which is 1.645. So as we can see, 2 is greater than 1.645. Since our test statistic falls in the critical region, we need to reject the null hypothesis. Now, for the last step, which is step number 7, we need to create a conclusion. Now, at the 5% level of significance, we have enough evidence to support that Sang Jun-woo's claim his hunter truly have an average score greater than or equal to 85. Using the p-value p, p z is greater than 2 is equals to 0.0228, and when this value is then, pag ginanap natin yung value nito sa Z table, we can see that the value shown is 0.02275. So, pwede natin siyang palitan, pero for the sake of using the Z table, i-complete natin yung given decimal places. So, if you look at the Z table, ito yung value which is 0.2275. Since 0.2275 is less than 0.05, which is the given earlier, which is the 5% level of significance, the result shows that it is highly significant, showing a strong evidence in favor of the claim. So, this provides additional support for rejecting HO or the null hypothesis. So, for the final interpretation of this problem, the statistical result confirms that GeneWood's training methods were effective, and as shown, the hunters has achieved above average performance in the test. Now, let's proceed with another sample to test our comprehension and understanding. So, for problem number 2, problem number 2. A manufacturer of Helldivers ready-to-eat meals for spaceflight claims that the mean shelf life of their product is 12 Earth months with a standard deviation of 1.2 Earth months. To test this claim, a random sample of 40 meals was tested and found to have a mean shelf life of 11.5 Earth months. So, test the hypothesis that the months are against the alternative hypothesis that months using 1% level of significance. Now, how are we going to solve this problem? Here is the solution. First, after analyzing the problem, we need to state the hypothesis. So, as shown here, the manufacturer claims that the average shelf life of the food is 12 months, 12 Earth months. So, this is their claim. So, for our null hypothesis, 12 months, this claim is true. So, for our alternative hypothesis is that it is not equivalent to 12 months, as shown here in the problem. So, this claim is false when we analyze the problem. So, for the given, this set up what you want to test. Is the true mean actually 12 or is it different? So, that is the hypothesis. Now, let's proceed with the given. So, list out the given data from the problem, and the information provided is the sample size, which is represented by letter N, which is equal to 40. Also, given is the sample mean, which is 11.5 months. And then we have the claim mean, which is 12 months. Then the standard deviation is 1.2 months. And we have the level of significance, which is in percentage. We need to convert it to decimal places. So, dalawang decimal places ng 1. So, magiging siyang 0.01. Now, the type of test is two-tailed since we need to test if it is actually true, if it's 12 months, if the food could last for 12 months, or if the food does not last for 12 months. So, it's a two-tailed test. Now, we need to proceed with the z-test formula. So, write down the z-test formula because we know the population standard deviation. So, ZZ is equals to x, which is the sample mean, minus by u sub 0, which is the claimed mean. Then, we need to divide both these values by the standard deviation divided by the root of n, which is the sample size. This formula measures how far our sample mean is from the claimed mean in terms of standard errors. Now, for step 4, we need to determine the critical region. Since this is a two-tailed test at 1% significance, we need to split the 0.01 into both tails. So, the critical values is positive or negative 2.575. So there are two values. So it can be either z is equal to negative 2.575 or z is greater than 2.575. So the term, so basically the value of z is determined if they're both positive or negative as shown here. So if anything beyond these values as shown here in this, kumbaga is itong representation which is z is less than negative or z is greater than the positive value. So anything beyond these values means the sample mean is too far from the claim. Now, for step 5, we need to compute the z statistic. Now we need to plug in the values in the given formula. So for zz, it is equals to 11.5 minus 12. Then plug in the values 1.2 divided by the square root of 40. Now, to provide a deeper understanding of how this problem is solved, let's do it manually. So for the square root of 40, it is equivalent, not equal, it is equivalent to 6.3246. So in this example, I only use 4 decimal places. Then, if after the next step, let's see the standard deviation. So standard deviation is 1.2. So it is divided by the square root of 40, which is 6.3246. So it is equivalent to 0.1897, which is also the 4 decimal places is already rounded off. Now for the total ZZ, so the ZZ is equals to 11.5 minus 12 divided by the value of 0.1897. It is equal to 0.5 when we subtract the two values, then divided it again, then it is equivalent to or equal to negative 2.636. Now, this is the value. So, how are we going to interpret this? Now, this value tells us our sample mean is noticeably below the claimed mean. So, let's proceed to the next slide, which is the decision. Now, step 6 is to make the decision. Now we compare our computed z with the critical values. So our computed zz is equals to negative 2.636, and the critical value is negative 2.575. Now, since negative 2.636 is less than the value of 2.575, we need to reject HO. Since it falls in the rejection region, therefore, again, we reject HO or the null hypothesis. There is enough evidence at the 1% level significance level to conclude that the mean shelf life of the meals is not 12 months. In fact, it appears to be less than 12 months. So, now, we can conclude that the true mean shelf life is not 12 months. In short, we need to present we need to proceed to the next in other ways to approach this problem. So we now have the conclusion. So we can also use another way. So for example, is your option if you want to like double check your answer. You can use the p-value approach as discussed earlier. So for the two-tailed test, P is equals to 2 times P, Z less than negative 2.636. From the Z table, we can see that negative 2.636 is almost equivalent to 0.042. So P is equals to 2 times the value as what we found in the Z table, then it's equal to 0.0084. Since the p value is 0.0084, and since this is less than our 0.01 significance level, we also reject the null hypothesis using the p-value method. So as we can see, which one is greater? So of course, the p-value, which is as we computed, and the level of significance is 0.01, we can see that as shown here, mas malaki ang A or the level of significance. Thus, we again conclude that we need to reject HO or the null hypothesis. Now, for further comprehension, the last problem for this subtopic will be discussed by Kay.
So for our problem 3, an engineer from Scuderia Ferrari claims that the average top speed of their new car exceeds 320 kilometers per hour. The population standard deviation is known to be 7.5 kilometers per hour. A sample of 35 speed measurement recorded an average speed of 322 kilometers per hour. Using a 0.05 level of significance, test the claim of the engineer. So, ang pinakauna ko pong ginagawa muna is to determine our claim para mas madali nating ma-state ang ating mga hypothesis. So, according to the problem, sorry po, next slide po pala. Next slide po. Yan. So, according to our problem nga po, an engineer claims that their average top speed exceeds 320 kilometers per hour. So that means lampas or greater than 320 kilometers ang kanyang kiniklaim na speed. And this will be our alternative hypothesis. So yan, moving on na po sa pinaka very first na talagang step is to state the hypothesis. So, since ang ating alternative hypothesis nga po is yung greater than 320 kilometers, so ang null hypothesis naman po is the complete opposite nito, which is ang value ng null hypothesis natin is less than or equal to 320 kilometers per hour. So moving on po for our given, we have a sample size of 35, a true mean of 320, standard deviation of 7.5, a sample mean of 322, and level of significance which is equals to 0.05. Next po is our significance level. So, ang gagamitin po natin ay one-tailed test sa right because our alternative hypothesis is gumamit tayo ng greater than symbol. So, di ba kapag sinabi ko kanina, kapag greater than, ang gagamitin natin is one-tailed test sa right. So, that means na ang ating rejection region ay nasa right tail of our distribution curve. Next slide po. This is our formula naman po for the z-test. So we will use this to compute for the z-score. Pero bago yan, meron tayong critical region. Ito ang critical value natin. Based sa z-table, para sa level of significance na 0.05 na nasa right tail lang, ang z-score cutoff ay 1.645. Makikita po yan sa ating z-table. And itong reject null hypothesis if the value of the z-score is greater than 1.645 is our decision rule. Para i-reject ang null hypothesis, ang computed statistic dapat is mas malaki or greater than nga sa 1.645. Now next is computing for our z-statistic. So using the formula kanina, yung z-score is equal to x bar minus mu sub o over our standard deviation divided by the square root of our sample size. So we will simply substitute all of the value, all of the given, and then simply compute the z-score. So ang nakuha po nating z-score is 1.578. Next slide po. So for our decision na po, dito malalaman if i-reject ba or i-accept ba natin si null hypothesis. So based sa decision rule natin kanina, dapat mas malaki or greater than yung value ng ating z-score kaysa sa ating critical value for us to reject the null hypothesis. Pero the value of our z-score is 1.578 and common sense na yun na much smaller siya kaysa sa critical value. So the null hypothesis is accepted and ang atin namang alternative hypothesis is rejected. So last step na po itong conclusion. So ang conclusion natin is at the 0.05 level of significance, there is not enough evidence to support the engineer's claim that the average top speed of the Formula 1 car is greater than 320 kilometers per hour. So the engineer's claim is not supported by the sample data. So, nag-come up tayo doon kasi yung claim or yung alternative hypothesis natin is rejected. So, that is all po for the for the test of on the mean of a normal distribution variance no. Thank you.
Chapter 8.3 Test on the mean of a normal distribution variance unknown. Next slide. So, to draw an inference on a mean in one population case, assuming normally distributed but the variance is unknown, the sample size is less than 30, then t-test is used. Next slide. So this is the formula for the t-statistic. Tc is equals to x bar minus mu sub o all over by s divided by the square root of n, wherein x bar is the computed mean, mu sub o is the hypothesized mean, s is the standard deviation, and n is the sample size. Next po. The critical value is obtained using the t-tabular value. For a two-sided test, critical value is obtained at alpha divided by 2 and at a degree of freedom equals to n minus 1. Otherwise, for one-sided test, the value is obtained at alpha and at a degree of freedom n minus 1. Next po. Next slide. So ito po yung t-table for for one-tailed test. Next. Next po. Sige pa. Hanggang matapos yung mga table. So magkaiba po yung yung t-table between one-tailed test and two-tailed test. So let's head on naman sa example problem. So problem number 1. The Los Angeles Lakers were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA last season. During training camp, Coach Redick claimed that his players could make an average of 40% from the three-point line because of the shooting drills. Just days before the start of the new NBA season, basketball analyst Stephen A. Smith doubted this claim. He said that it would not translate in an actual game. After the first game of the Lakers, he recorded the three-point percentage of the 9 players that played that night. He found out that the team had an average success rate of 38%, with a standard deviation of 4%. Smith wants to determine at the 4% level of significance whether the team's true average three-point percentage is different from the claimed 40%. Next slide po.
So, paano ba isolve yung problem na yon? So, to solve that problem, una muna is ilagay muna natin lahat nung given. So, based on the problem, meron tayong given na hypothesized mean which is 40%. May computed mean tayo na 38%. May standard deviation tayo na 4%. May sample size tayo na 9%. And may level of significance tayo na 4% which is 0.04. So based din doon sa problem, pakibalik nga po sa previous slide. Sa previous slide po. So yan, based dun sa problem, may keyword dyan which is yung sa last sentence yung different. Kapag sinabing different, it is a two-tailed test. Kapag naman one-tailed test, pwedeng ang keyword dun is greater than or less than. So pabalik na po dun sa solution. So yan, na-determine na natin na this is a two-tailed test. So let's head on naman sa steps sa pagsasolve. First step is state the hypothesis. So meron tayong null hypothesis na equal sa 40%. And yung alternative hypothesis naman natin is not equal sa 40%. So step 2, compute the t-statistic. So using the formula, substitute lang natin yung given. So we have 0.38 minus 0.40. Convert na natin yung percent into decimals. Divided by 0.04 na i-divide din sa square root of 9. So kapag input nyo sa calcul, pwedeng ilagay nyo na lahat ng given and then equals nyo na agad, or pwede din namang isa-isahin nyo muna yung value. Then, ang magiging sagot naman yan is same lang din, which is negative 1.5. So, next naman, hanapin naman natin yung degrees of freedom, which is n minus 1. So, ang sample size natin is 9. So, 9 minus 1 is equals to 8. Yun yung degrees of freedom natin. Next slide po. So third step is determining the critical T value. So since this is a two-tailed test nga, so ang formula natin is yung level of significance divided by 2, which is 0.04 divided by 2. So meron tayong 0.02 in each tail. And since yung degrees of freedom natin is 8, hahanapin lang natin yun sa T-table. So may value yun sa T-table. So ang critical value ng T natin is approximately positive or negative 2.51. So pwede siyang magkaiba based sa given na T-table kasi hindi naman siya pare-parehas and yung iba is approximation lang. So next naman, step 4 is the decision rule. Ang decision natin is we do not reject the null hypothesis since the t-statistic is 1.5, which is less than 2.51 but is greater than negative 2.51. And ang p-value approximation naman natin, using the formula, P is equals to 2P multiplied by T, which is less than negative 1.5. So, ang sagot naman po natin is 0.172. Therefore, ang conclusion natin is there is not enough evidence to conclude that the Lakers' true average 3-point percentage is different from Coach Redick's claim. Let's head on naman sa example problem number 2. The LTB company stated that their buses leave at the Batangas City Grand Terminal with an average interval of 15 minutes. They received complaints from the passengers about constant delays. The LTFRB decided to verify if the average leaving time has changed. One day, an officer from the LTFRB monitored 20 buses from the company that leaves the terminal and recorded the interval of each bus. The results showed an average interval of 17.3 minutes with a standard deviation of 2.7 minutes. The officer wants to test at 5% level of significance whether the true mean leaving time of the buses has changed from the company's statement. Next slide po. So again, sulat muna natin yung mga given. So meron tayong hypothesized mean na 15 minutes, may sample size tayo na 20 buses, may computed mean tayo na 17.3 minutes, may standard deviation tayo na 2.7 minutes, and may level of significance tayo na 5% which is 0.05. So again, this is a two-tailed test since hahanapin naman natin or aalamin naman natin if nagbago ba yung yung leaving time interval ng mga buses. Similar dun sa first problem which is ang keyword naman is different, dito naman is yung change. So let's add on na sa solution. Again, step 1 is we have to state the hypothesis. So ang null hypothesis natin is equals sa 15. And then yung alternative hypothesis naman natin is not equals to 15. Second, we have to compute the test statistic. So again, using the formula, let's just substitute the values. 17.3 minus 15 all over by 2.7 divided by the square root of 20. Therefore, ang magiging t-statistic natin is 3.8096. So next step, hahanapin naman natin yung degrees of freedom which is n-1. Ang n natin is equals to 20, so 20 minus 1 is equals to 19. Yun yung degrees of freedom natin. Next slide po. So third step, determining the critical t-value. Again, this is a two-tailed test. So ang level of significance natin is divide natin sa 2. So 0.05 divided by 2 is 0.025 in each tail. Since ang degrees of freedom natin is 19, based dun sa t-table, ang critical t-value natin is approximately positive and negative 2.093. Then sa decision rule naman natin, step 4. We have to reject the null hypothesis since yung t-value natin na t-statistic value natin na 3.8096 is greater than 2.093. And then yung fifth step, yung p-value approximation, using the formula ulit, p is equals to 2p since this is a two-tailed test nga, multiplied by t which is greater than 3.8096 is equals to 0.01. So ang conclusion natin, there is a strong evidence that the true mean interval between buses has changed from the company stated 15 minutes. Next na po.
So ako naman po magdi-discuss ng example problem number 3. A nutritionist claims that a new diet plan increases the average daily protein intake of adults to at least 70 grams per day. A sample of 10 adults who followed the diet for 1 month had the following protein intake in grams: 72, 68, 75, 70, 69, 74, 73, 71, 67, and 76. Assume the population is approximately normal. At the 0.05 level of significance, test whether the average daily protein intake is significantly different from 70 grams. Next slide po. So, ang given po natin ay ang atin pong hypothesis is 70 and ang atin pong sample size ay 10 and ang ating pong level of significance is 0.05. So, malalaman din po natin na two-tailed test din po siya kasi sabi nga po dun sa example number 1 na different din po siya sa kanyang hypothesis, which is ganun din po dito sa example problem number 3 na different from 70 grams. So sa solution po natin, ang first step po natin is state the hypothesis. Ang ating pong null hypothesis is equal to 70. And ang ating naman pong alternative hypothesis is not equal to 70. The next step po is compute the sample statistic. So gumamit po ako dito ng formula na pag laplasin ko po lahat ng ating sample size, then di-divide po natin sa ating pag-laplasin po pala natin lahat ng ating sample data and i-divide po natin sa sample size, which is yung 72 plus 68 plus 75 plus 70 plus 69 plus 74 plus 73 plus 71 plus 67 plus 76 over 10 is equal to 715 over 10 or 71.5. Next slide po. So, para naman po makuha natin yung ating sample standard deviation is gumamit po ako ng formula dito na square root of summation of sample data minus mean raised to 2 over sample size minus 1. So, makalalaman po natin yung ating sample data at saka mean sa ating t-table. So, hindi ko na po nilagay yung t-table kasi hindi na po kasya sa So, ang magiging ano po natin doon is ipag-laplasin, ima-minus po muna natin yung sample data sa mean. So, which is, ang lumabas po is 82.5. And then, yung sample standard deviation naman po ang ating isosolve, which is square root of 82.5 over 9. Kaya po naging 9 yon kasi yung sample size po natin is 10 minus 1 is equals to 9. Kaya po naging 9. So, ang naging sagot po dun is square root of 9.1667 or 3.03. Then, ang next step naman po natin is substitute into the T formula. So, T is equal to mean minus hypothesis over sample standard deviation over square root of sample size, which is yung mean po natin is yung 71.5 minus hypothesis, which is 70 over sample standard deviation, yung pong 3.03 over square root of 10. And then ang kinalabasan po is 1.5 over 3.03 divided by 3.1623. So, kailangan pa po natin i-divide yung nasa baba para po mapalabas po natin mismo ang sagot, which is TC is equal to 1.5 over 0.9581 is equal to 1.565 or 1.57. And next step naman po natin is determine the critical value. So, hanapin po muna natin ang ating degrees of freedom na n minus 1, which is 10 minus 1 is equals to 9. So, ang atin naman pong level of significance is 0.05 na two-tailed test. Kaya po naging, yung T is naging 0.025 over 9 is equal to 2.62. Makikita po natin din yon sa ating t-table, but minsan naman po hindi po siya accurate kasi minsan approximation lang po ito. Next slide. Next slide po. So, ang next step natin is yung decision rule. Yung T critical is yung partial T is greater than T critical. So, dapat po i-reject natin yung null hypothesis. So, ang atin pong partial T is equal to 1.57 less than 2.262. Failed to reject po ko yung ating null hypothesis kasi less than po ito sa ating critical value na lumabas po kanina. So, conclusion, at the 0.05 significance level, there is no sufficient evidence to conclude that the mean protein intake is different from 70 grams.
Now let's proceed to test on variance and statistical deviation of normal distribution. A chi-squared distribution will be used to test a claim about a single variance standard deviation. The formula for chi-squared test for a single variance is given by chi-squared is equals to sample size minus 1 times standard deviation squared over sigma squared. Next. Chi-squared for variance state that hypothesis is equals to 25 mg-ohms and hypothesis set the label significance alpha is equal to 0.10 or 10% level total test. So here's the example of solving the chi-squared. Next slide. Identify the critical region. Through two critical values two-tailed. The lower critical values is equals to 10.117 and upper critical value is equals to 30.144. The decision rules reject hypothesis if chi-squared is less than 10.117 or chi-squared is greater than 30.114. Next slide. Compare computed with critical values. Computed 27.36. Condition 10.117 greater than 27.36 greater than 30.144 inside the acceptable range. So, ito yung cut-off ng numbers kapag lumagpas o bumaba dyan. Ibig sabihin, hindi tugma ang claim. Ang decision po is do not reject kasi po nasa gitna naman po siya ng range. Ito. Next slide. Now, I'm giving to Miel to discuss this test on population portion.
So, for the test on population proportion, you test if the population proportion is equals a specific value. Form of hypothesis, population is less than P-null, population is greater than P-null, or population or is equals to P-null. Ibig sabihin po, ang proportion test na ito ay kung saang percent ratio o bilang ng success ang chinecheck natin. Next slide po. For Z test for the mean known, it state the hypothesis mean is equal to mu is equal to 80% and mu is greater than 80%. It means right-tailed test. Ibig sabihin naman po, sinasabi po ng professor na at least 80% ang average, kaya right-tailed. Kasi nga, gusto nating ma-prove na mas mataas ito. And sa level of significance naman, Ang standard na value ay ibig sabihin po 5% ang chance na magkakamali tayo. Next slide po. Dito naman tayo sa computing the z-statistic. Ang formula po natin dyan is yung ZC is equal to sample mean minus the hypothesized mean over variance over the square root of sample size. May given po tayo dito. Ang given po natin sa sample mean is, wait lang. Ang given po natin sa sample mean is 85. Sa hypothesized mean naman po is equals to 80. Ang variance naman po natin ay 16 and the sample size po is 100. So, pag po kinumpute natin, di ba po, ito po yung formula natin. Isasubstitute lang po natin yan. 85 minus 80 over 16 over the square root of 100 is equal to 5 over 1.6. Pag gusto po natin i-simplify, i-over lang po natin yan and yun, ang kakalabasan natin, 3.125. Kinukumpara po natin ang sample mean ng 85 sa hypothesized mean. Next slide po. Sa critical value naman, ang right-tailed is, at sa z-test po natin is equal to 1.645. Ang decision rule naman po is, ang compare and decide computed 3.125 which is greater than 1.645 and reject hypothesis. Ibig sabihin po, lumalagpas ng malaki ang computed z-test kaya may strong evidence na tama ang claim natin. Next slide po. Dito nga po sa critical value, tulad nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, right-tailed. Ang z-test po natin is 1.645 and sa compare and decide, computed 3.125 which is greater than 1.645 and ang reject po natin is reject hypothesis. Sa conclusion naman po, the professor claim is correct at 5% level of significance p-value is equal to 0.0009 arrow extremely small arrow stronger evidence. Ibig sabihin po, napakaliit po ng p-value kaya sobrang lakas po talaga ng ebidensya na tama po ang claim natin. Next slide po. So, dadako na po tayo sa problem. Ibibigay ko na po kay JM.
So let's proceed to example problem number 1. A company advertised that their customer complaints rate is only 8%. A survey was conducted with 250 randomly selected customers, and only 12 filed a compliant test at 0.05 significance level if the true compliant rate is less than 8%. So ito po yung solution. So sabi po, the company claims that their customer compliant rate at 8%. O yun po yung hypothesis natin na 0.08 and the alternative hypothesis po naman natin is less than 0.08 din po. So less than 8% po yun. So computing the c-value, ito po ang ating formula. G is equals to x minus sample size p naught over square root of sample size p naught q naught. So ito po ang given natin. Ang sample size natin po is 250. X po natin ay 12. Ang p naught po natin ay 0.08. And q naught po is 0.92. So based po sa formula, i-substitute lang po natin yung given which is 12 minus 250 times 0.08 over square root of 250 times 0.08 times 0.92. Then 12 minus 20 over square root of 18.4. Then negative 8 over 4.289. Ang kalalabasan po ay negative 1.87. So finding the p-value, we need P times D is greater than negative 1.87. So from the C table, this probability is equals po sa 0.0307. The decision po is we reject the null hypothesis since ang 0.0307 po ay mas maliit sa 0.05. So rejected po ang hypothesis. So ang conclusion po ay there is evidence that true compliant rate is less than 8%. Next po. So next problem naman po. A manufacturer claims that only 2% of their products are defective. A quality check was done on 400 randomly selected products and 15 were found defective at 0.05 significant level. Test if the actual defective rate is higher than 2%. So garon din po, the hypothesis natin is hypothesis equals to 0.02 and alternative hypothesis is 0 greater than 0.02 then the defect rate is greater than 2.2% because the alternative has P greater than this is a Reitel test. So ganun din po, ayun din po ang formula natin. Nabago lang po is ating given na sample size po natin is 400, ang X po is 15, ang P naught is equals to 0.02, ang Q naught ay 0.98. Ano lang po ulit, substitute 15 minus 400 times 0.02 over square root of 400 times 0.02 times 0.98. Then 15 minus 8 over square root of 7.84. Lalabas po is 7 over 2.8 equals lang din po siya sa 2.50. Then finding the p-value, this area po is to the right of C is equals to 2.50. So from the C table, pag hinanap nyo po yan, ang lalabas dyan po ay 0.0062. Sa C table po, ang makikita nyo po dun sa 2.50 is 0.9938. So the upper tail is probability is, ngayon po, mamainisan nyo po siya, mamainisan nyo po siya ng 1. So 1 minus 0.9938, tsaka po lalabas po yung 0.0062. Since 0.0062 is less than 0.05, the hypothesis po is rejected. So the conclusion, there is strong evidence that true defect rate is greater than 2%. Now, problem number 3 po is I'm giving the floor to Miel.
So for this problem po, a manufacturing process is considered acceptable if it has at most 5% defective rate. A quality inspector found only 3 defective items in a sample of 150 items. At 0.05 significance level, test if the process is better than the 5% standard. Ang hypothesis po natin, next slide po pala. So, ang hypothesis po natin dito is P null is equal to 0.05 and alternative hypothesis is equal to P null is greater than 0.05. Ang z-test formula po natin dito is the z-test is equal to number of success minus sample size times population proportion over the square root of sample size times population proportion times the population proportion not happening. So, ang given po natin dito ay ang sample size po natin is 150 while ang number of success po natin is 3 and ang ating pong penal ay 0.05 while ang ating pong alternative penal is equal to 0.095. Since andito na po ang ating formula, isa-substitute lang po natin yung lahat. It's equal to 3 minus 150 times 0.05 over square root of 150 times 0.05 times 0.95. Ang inuna po natin dito ay ibabaw. Then, yung sa baba naman po. Pwede po natin silang pagsabayin sa calcu, kaso po, mag-iiba nga po yung sa decimal po natin. Then, lumabas na po yung negative 4.5 over 2.669. Then, para makuha natin sa z-table is equals to negative 1.69. Getting the p-value, p natin, syempre, titingin tayo sa z-table. So, z is less than negative 1.69 is equal to 0.0455. Since ang decision po natin ay 0.0455 is less than 0.05, rejected po ang ating hypothesis. Ang conclusion po natin dito is, therefore at 5 level of significance, we have enough evidence to say that the company meets or even exceed the 5% defect limit. Ibig sabihin po, pasado po ang quality claim nila. Yun lamang po. Salamat.
So now, I will discuss chapter 8.5, which is test on a population proportion. Next slide po. Test on population proportion is testing the hypothesis considers the proportion of success in a binomial experiment equals some specified value. That is the null hypothesis, which is the HO, that P is equal to PO, where P is the parameter of the binomial distribution is tested. So dito naman sa testing population proportion, i-apply natin yung mga na-discuss kanina na null hypothesis, two-tailed test, one-tailed test, and then kukunin natin yung critical values, critical region, which we'll discuss later po. Next slide po. So this is the steps in testing a proper proportion of small samples. First is ilalagay natin yung ating hypothesis testing. Susulat natin yung ating null hypothesis, which is equal to P sub O, and then yung ating alternative hypothesis na P is less than 2, P sub 0, P is greater than P sub O pala, or P is not equal to P sub O. Next step is solve for test statistic or yung C statistic natin. Third is find the critical region using the C table. And then last, our decision whether to reject the null hypothesis or accept the null hypothesis. Next slide po. So now this is the formula for C test statistic. X minus n P sub O over square root of n times P sub 0 n Q sub 0, where n is equal to number of successes, n is equal to sample size, P sub 0 is equal to hypothesized population proportion, and Q sub 0 is complement of PO. Makukuha natin siya using 1 minus P sub 0. Next slide po. So for better understanding po, this is example problem number 1. A survey claims that 9 out of 10 nutritionists recommend eating fruits daily for a healthy diet. To test this claim, a random sample of 100 nutritionists is obtained. Out of these 100 nutritionists, 82 indicate that they recommend eating fruits daily. At a significance level of alpha is equal to 0.05, is this claim true? So, pe-present ko lang po yung screen ko para sa solution. Wait lang po. So, this is our problem. Susulat muna natin yung given na ating P sub 0 is equal to 0.90. Yun yung ating 9 out of 10 nutritionist. And na sample size nga ba siya? X is 82, alpha na 0.05 yung ating significance level, and then yung Q sub 0 is 0.1 using yung 1 minus 0.90. Then ang ating hypothesis is ang null natin ay P is equal to 0.9. Yun yung 9 out of 10 nutritionist recommend eating fruits daily. Yung ating alternative naman yung kabaliktaran lang ng ating null. Since ang tinatanong lang naman ay kung totoo ba yung claim na 9 out of 10 nutritionists ay nare-recommenda yung pagkain ng prutas araw-araw. So, ito ay two-tailed test. After writing the given values, ilalagay naman natin yung sa test statistic, which is itong ating formula. Pa-plug in lang natin yung mga given values, yung x natin na 82, yung 100 natin na n times 0.9 over square root of 100 times 0.90 times 0.10. Then after malagay sa calcio, makukuha po nating value ng C statistic ay is equal to negative 2.67. So after nan, kukunin naman natin yung ating critical value. So dito, nagmamatter yung alpha na 0.05. Since this is a two-tailed test, need natin siyang hatiin sa dalawa na dun sa ating normal distribution. So dito sa left, yung reject region natin, and dito sa right, yung ating acceptance region. So after dividing this sa 0.05, ang makukuha natin value ay 0.025. And then yung value na yan yung hahanapin natin sa C table. So papakita ko lang yung ating C table. So may namali lang ako ditong lagay. Lalexan ko lang. And then highlight natin tong isa. Yan. So, yung pagkuha nung value nito sa C table, ang hahanapin natin ay yung mismong 0.025. So, dito natin siya hanapin sa marami na to. And then, ito siya, 0.025. Kung ano yung pataka niya na value dito, and then sa taas, yun yung ating magiging value ng critical values. Since ito ay negative 1.9, and 6. So, ang ating magiging value ay negative 1.96. Since ito nga ay two-tailed test, isang positive and isang negative. Then, as we can see, na yung ating negative 2.67 ay papatak siya sa critical region. So, ang ating decision is we will reject the null hypothesis and we will accept the alternative hypothesis. So, example number 2. Wait lang. Example number 2. Cup of G Cafe claims that 60% customers prefer iced matcha latte over hot matcha latte. You believe the percentage is actually higher than 60%. To test this, a survey of 50 customers is conducted, and 15 of them say they prefer iced matcha latte. At the 0.05 level of significance, test whether the cafe's claim is accurate, or if the true proportion is higher. Since ang tinatanong naman dito ay kung higher sa 60%, ang gagamitin natin ay right-tailed test. So, katulad lang nung kanina, isusulat muna natin yung mga given, which is P sub 0 is equal to 0.60. Yun yung ating 60% customer na mas prefer ang iced matcha. Then ang ating N na 50, X is equal to 18, Q sub 0 is equal to 0.4. Yun ay 1 minus 0.60. So, ang Q sub 0 natin, yan yung complement ng P sub 0. Then ang alpha or level of significance is 0.05. Then isusulat natin ang ating hypothesis. So ang null hypothesis natin is equal to phi is equal to 0.60. Since this is right-tailed, so ang ating alternative hypothesis is P is greater than 0.60. And then, kunin naman natin yung C value niya. Then, katulad nung kanina, ipa-plug in lang natin yung mga value nung given. Yung x natin na 18 minus 50 na n times p sub 0 na 0.60 over square root ng n, which is 50, times 0.60 times 0.40. Then, ang makuha nating value is negative 3.46. And next naman ay yung ating critical value. Since this is, again, right-tailed test, so hindi natin gagawin yung kanina kasi kung higher lang naman daw. So, yung ating magiging value nung sa alpha na 0.05, hindi na natin siya hatiin sa dalawa. Yun na yung mismo hahanapin natin sa C-table. So, hanapin natin yung 0.05, which is ito. And ang makukuha natin value is negative 1.6 and 0.4. Since this is right, positive value nandito. So, yung sign na nandito sa table ay magmamatter. Depende sa alternative hypothesis. Since right siya, kahit negative siya sa C-table, dito sa ating drawing or yung ating normal distribution ay positive 1.64. And then ang ating C statistic value ay negative 3.46 since hindi siya larger sa ating C na critical value, we are failed to reject the null hypothesis since there is not enough evidence to conclude that more than 60% of customers prefer iced matcha latte. So next problem po. Last problem is, a popular fast food chain claims that 65% of its customers are satisfied with their overall dining experience. To test if the satisfaction rate is lower than claimed, a random sample of 250 customers was surveyed, and 180 reported being satisfied. At the significance level of alpha is equal to 0.04, test whether the satisfaction rate is less than 65%. So makikita naman natin dito, ang tinatanong ay whether the satisfaction rate is lower than claim, and ang ating claim ay 65%. So dahil mas lower siya, ang gagamitin natin ay left-tailed test. So, gaya ng mga nauna, ilalagay muna natin yung ating given na ating P sub 0 is equal to 0.65, N is equal to 250, X is equal to 180, Q sub 0 is equal to 0.35. So, nakuha natin ulit yon dito sa 1 minus 0.65 dahil yun ay ang complement ng ating P sub 0. And then, ang ating alpha na 0.04. And then, yung ating hypothesis. Ang ating null hypothesis is P is equal to 0.65. Since ang tinatanong naman dito ay lower, so ang ating alternative hypothesis is P is less than 0.65. So next is ang ating C value. Pa-plug in lang natin yung values na x is equal to 180 minus n na 250 times p sub 0 na 0.65 over square root of n 250 times p sub 0 na 0.65 times q sub 0 na 0.35. Then after malagay natin sa calcu, ang makukuha natin value is 2.32. The next ay yung ating critical value. So since Ito ay left-tailed test. Yung left-tailed test and right-tailed test, one-tailed test yung tawag sa kanila na buo. Gaya ng right-tailed test, sa isa lang din natin siya ilalagay, which is dito sa left, which is negative yung value. Yung 0.04, yan yung hanapin natin sa C-table. So, ito ulit yung ating C-table. So, ito yung ating 0.04. And then, ang magiging values niya is negative 1.7 and 0.5. Since left to negative, yung value na makukuha natin doon is, hindi magde-depend dun sa C-table yung magiging value nung sa significance level. Pero, since negative din yung dito sa normal distribution, di negative din yung ating value, which is 1.75. Yung ating C value ay 2.32. Ang ating critical value ay 1.71. So, ang magiging decision is fail to reject the null hypothesis, since there is not enough evidence to conclude that the customer satisfaction rate is lower than 65%.
So that would be all for our presentation. Thank you very much po for listening.